And in fact, just so it warms up a little bit, I'm going to see if I can close the garage.
Here, I'll go over here too. Don't lean on the wall. Keep traveling. Yeah, look, you can see where my finger is going.
Yeah. Just, don't touch the walls, don't lean on the walls. Trust me, you will get dirty, you will smell like roasted coffee dust the rest of the week probably. Okay, so you can't roast enough coffee in your grill in a month to support that kind of family. So, and it takes 2 years to learn how to roast coffee. Well, if we're going to start a business employing men and women who have a felony conviction, and they're there less than 2 years, we need to do something different. We need to find a roasting machine that lets somebody roast coffee without 2 years of experience first, and do it in a way that is consistently high quality. One thing I learned about roasting in my grill, you can't control it. There's no temperature probe. You don't know what temperature the beans are. The only thing you have is a stopwatch, essentially, how long have the beans been in, and you've got some gas dials with really, really intricate markings on them of low, medium, and high. That doesn't work for roasting coffee on a consistent basis. So I did some searching on the internet to try and find a roasting machine that would let somebody roast coffee without 2 years of experience. There wasn't one at all. Talking 2007. And so we thought, all right, we're going to be serious about doing this, then we're going to need to invent one. So we did. And that's this contraption that's here next to me. This is a production prototype of our commercial scale roasting machine that has software running on that computer that we wrote that controls the roast process and does so in a way that no other coffee roasting machine on the planet does. And we only had to do that because of our social mission. If we didn't have the mission that we have, then I would be having a great time roasting coffee in a traditional way because I love roasting coffee. And that's one of the reasons I got into doing this. Don't ask me when the last time was I roasted coffee. I don't remember. Running a business isn't the same as doing the work. So we wrote software. A friend of mine helped weld this contraption together. We designed it, built it, and put it in production. It's an electric heated coffee roasting machine. That tube on the other side, the vertical tube, it's a 25,000 watt heater. Air going in the top, let's say it's 72 degrees, that pipe at the top and the blower at the top of that thing, pulls air in and pushes it down across the heater coils. In half a second, there can be an 880 degree rise in temperature of the air going across that before it gets into this, which is the roasting chamber. Now, we don't need an 880 degree rise, but we do need the capacity to heat air very quickly. So we actually pour beans. There's a hatch up here. We actually pour beans, though, so the green beans you got out of the bag, we weigh those, 7.2 pounds, dump them in here, close the lid, and hit go on the software panel. When we do that, we're also telling it we've put in Panama Boquete Katoa beans, and we put in 7.2 pounds. So roast them the way they're supposed to be roasted. Who decides that? Well, I do. We are able to tell the machine, the software, when you know it's Panama Boquete Katoa beans, roast them exactly like this. So unlike baking a cake, coffee beans, it's not a stable temperature thing. You bake a cake, you mix your batter and put all that stuff in there and grease your pan, you put it in the oven at, does anybody bake cakes? What temperature do they go in the oven at?
375.
375, okay, we have a winner. 375 degrees, the cake goes in and the oven is supposed to stay at 375 degrees for however long it takes to bake a cake. I know it's not 10 minutes, I know it's not 3 hours, it's somewhere in between there. Roasting coffee beans is completely different than that. The beans start out at the ambient temp they're in that bag, and they need to get to a certain finish temp. And most people think, okay, it's going to be dark roasted, so you just take it to a higher finish temp. And just to put this in context, 450 to 460 degrees-ish is what we're talking about for the finish temp of coffee beans. But what matters the most isn't the finish temp, it's the path you take to get there. I can actually take, and we did this for Whole Foods just a few weeks ago, I took I took the Panama beans. We roasted them. I had Fernando roast them to the exact same finish temp for the exact same amount of time to the second in the roaster. But we made the beans take a slightly different path that varied only by 20 seconds at certain temperatures during the 15-minute roast process. And then I had them taste those coffees, those three. All of them, all 8 of the people from Whole Foods could taste the difference in each one. And fortunately for us, they selected the one that we thought tasted the best. They also all agreed that is what tasted the best. With 20 seconds of difference between from one coffee to another. We're able to get that level of control. In fact, we can get it all the way down to 1 second of difference. Now, we can't taste a second of difference, but we do know we can taste 5 seconds of difference in the roast process. This is what makes our roasting machine different than everybody else's. They don't have that level of control. We actually have software. Our software measures, this is a temperature probe, and it measures the temperature of the beans inside the roaster. And there's another one on the bottom of the heater over there that measures the temperature of the air going in. We're able to tell that we actually measure the bean temp. So it's about 1,000 times more frequently than what every other roaster measures it at. They actually look at it once a minute. We look at it, our software looks at that temperature 10 times every second. And it looks at, so it's a tenth of a second. We're looking at what are the beans now? Where are they supposed to be in the next tenth of a second? What do I need to do to the heater to make the beans get there where they're supposed to be in the next tenth of a second? And it does that every single tenth of a second for the entire duration of the roast. So I'm able to say I want the beans to follow this path, and the software makes sure the beans exactly follow that path every single time. You don't need 2 years of experience to learn how to tell the machine I'm putting Panama beans in the roaster.